Craftin buddies. It's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. Welcome. I don't remember if I waved or not. Let me get my devices set up. We'll give people a chance to join in here. One device ready. One device ready. There we go. All right. We're here. We're here. So while people are coming on here, let's take care of our few announcements that I typically do at the very beginning. Looks like my picture is elongated again. Thanks to YouTube. Looks like we got a little twine going on here. We'll get to that in a minute. First big news. The name of my storefront has changed. So instead of having to try to spell Lori Macari, that's stampinup.net, it's now Late Night Lori. Let's move these. Late Night Lori.stampinup.net. We'll get those out of the way there. All right. So if you do not have a demonstrator, and if you are not on my team or a demonstrator on your own, I would love to have you shop with me and even join my team. First announcement done. Second announcement, the new catalog is so much fun. I can only show you the cover. I can only show you the cover. I am not allowed to show you anything on the inside until January 6th. If you want to peek at this earlier, you either need to be a demonstrator, a hobby demo, a community coach, a kitnapper, a business builder. You have to join in order to see this early or to order early, because we get to order early as well. So if you want to join my team so you can get early access, right there. Virtual card retreat. I've talked about this the last couple of days. This will start to be available for purchase on December 10th. 2 days, 7 hours a day, 15 advanced cards. All right. This will not be for the faint of heart. There will be a private Facebook group. We will have access to that. And we'll get all of our instructions for getting things prepped ahead of time for that. So if you are joining me and you've not been here before, let me know where you're joining from. Feel free to join into the conversation. I welcome collaboration. Product of the month, brand new for December. This is taking the place of Celebration that we normally have in January and February. How this works is every month there's going to be an exclusive product. This month happens to be this beautiful designer series paper. In order to get this exclusive item, you need to have a qualifying purchase. That would be in the United States, $75. Once you hit that $75, you'll see like a progress bar. At least this month, you will see a progress bar across your screen that'll tell you how close you're getting and when you've reached that threshold. So it's $75 before tax and shipping. Once you get to that level, you will have the option of adding this exclusive product to your cart for only $5. Prices vary in other markets, all right? You can only get one. So we are not going to have people that are placing large orders and snagging up all of the products that we all want, right? You can get one for each month that is available. So let's say you didn't get December in December because you were too busy with Christmas, but in January you decided, oh, there's still some December paper left. I want it. You can order it. You have to have that $75 qualifying order. You have to add it to your cart. Now, the other thing is you also have to have a customer account set up. And my recommendation would be opt in for Stampin' Rewards. That gives you money back every time you make a purchase. And you can use that. It's a 10% rebate, basically, that you can use for future purchases. And you don't have to use it the next time you place an order. You can build it up so that you get stuff free, essentially. You can hold on to your points for up to 12 months after you've earned them. All right? So this project of the month, let's say you didn't get it in December, January, there's still some left. You want it in January. You can place that qualifying order. But if you also want January's product, whatever that might be, whether it's going to be paper again or a stamp set or an embellishment, we do not know. It's a surprise, which I think is fun. But you would have to place a separate qualifying order. All right, so keep that in mind. Cyber Monday is coming to a close. This is the sale on prepaid paper pumpkin subscriptions from December 1st to the 9th. Stampin' Up! Is offering this. If you are an existing Paper Pumpkin subscriber, if you do not want multiple kits, you'll want to go into your current account, suspend your December shipment, because this one will automatically initiate a December kit. That's the only way they can get the system to do what they want it to do. All right. We have 2 new kits that came out this month. And now we are to the star of the show, kind of. All right. This is some new paper coming out. I did kind of show it a couple of days ago. So if you missed all of the designs, go back and take a peek. But this is Beach Boardwalk. This is a 12 by 12 pack of Designer Series paper. Hello, Yuda. There's a lot of fun colors in here. And I'm looking... It doesn't look like it has anything that is... Oh, Petunia Pop will be a retiring color. I think that's it. Hello, Bon Bon. Hello, Rhea. Welcome. So we are going to turn this paper into tulips. Believe it or not. Yeah, believe it or not. So if you want to take a peek at all of these papers, just look back at, at the last couple of videos. I did it somehow. Macman might still be awake. He might still be. He just went up to bed a couple minutes ago. So we are going to turn that into tulips. What I have done is, I don't know if you saw my title, but it said 12 tulips twirling. The goal tonight is to do 12 cards in about an hour. Do you think we can do it? You're not going to have a whole lot of choices tonight because I am mass producing these because I have a swap tomorrow and I need 12 cards. So we're going to do my swap cards. I started designing another card and I thought, no, I just have to get these done. So 12 in an hour. Let's see how it goes, Rhea. Because when I chit chat, it might work, it might not work. But I have done a little bit of the prep work, probably about a half an hour-ish. So I'm not going to count that in our hour, but our hour is going to start tolling now, not at 11:59 p.m. when I went live, which I forgot to say, 11:59 on Saturday, December 6th. All right. So what I have done is I have taken this card I did a few nights ago, and I'm revamping it just a little bit with this new product. So this comes from this Designer Series paper pack. Believe it or not, I did take, I was going to take this one and use the back, but I used another one that was similar. So I have cut 12 1 by 5 inch strips of 3 different colors. All right, so these are basically all the same. They could go sideways, but I wanted them up and down, so I just turned my paper accordingly. This has got, this is a Daffodil Delight with like little sunshine things on there. And then this is just it kind of looks like cotton candy to me. So, which would make sense with that little carnival thing. And I have, when does the hour start? How about at 12:10? Because I'll just tell you what I have prepped ahead of time. And that'll probably take me about another minute or so. All right. You're really gonna time me, Juju? We'll see if she can do it. All right. So I have 24 8-inch pieces of white baker's twine because I'm going to make these double bows. We have some gems from the, these are low profile sparkle dots. These are from the Perfectly Pairs stuff. We have a bunch of longer pieces. These are 26 inches so that we can wrap it around our card. And I'm just going to put those back kind of up out of the way so I don't get them tangled. I have 12 Granny Apple Green card bases. So these are scored at 4 1/4. They're already cut so that they're 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. So those are done. We'll have to burnish those. I have the labels die cut already for this. I have the tulips in Daffodil Delight already done so that we have 2 for each card. We will have to stamp leaves on these. We will have to stamp sentiments on those because I didn't do that yet. And I have 6 of these cut out. So I'll still have to cut out more of these. But I think this is just going to be a brighter version of this one because this one we used Old Olive. So it's 12:10. Let's see if I can get done in an hour. So I'm just going to move these off to the side for right now. And methodically, hopefully I won't find any squirrels. I'm just going to start burnishing our card bases. And this is really heavy paper. So how was everybody's Saturday? And I think what I'm going to do... Oh, you set your alarm? Awesome. Go. And go. So I kind of like doing things assembly line when I have several to do. So Juju, you had a great Saturday. You didn't have to work, I take it? No squirrels. I was at the college for part of the day, had a good class there, and came home, and MacMan and I decided we were both starving, so we were going to go a couple of cities away to a restaurant that we like. And as we were driving there, we drove past another kind of local place. And he's like, oh yeah, we should go there sometime for fish fry. I've seen ads for them. And I'm like, well, they're open. You want to go there now? I mean, it's a Saturday. We're not going to get a fish fry, but you know, we could check it out, and it wasn't busy. So we went in, and I will go back there every day. The food was amazing. I had a roasted chicken. So I got 4 pieces of chicken. I got a whole bunch of roasted potato wedges, and it came with coleslaw. I think that was it for mine. It was only $14. And then MacMan got some mostaccioli. He pronounces it like an Italian way. I don't know how he says it, but I am working. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I want to make sure I got them all. So it was just really, really good. And I think what I will do now is stamp my sentiments on here. And I need to get my garden green ink. Garden green. No, Granny Apple Green. It's Granny Apple Green, not garden green. That's why it's so bright. And I am going to pull in my mat here. Yeah, we can do this. This is a challenge. So it's kind of like when I stamp with my granddaughter and I have to get stuff done and I have to explain things to her and still get them done. It'll work. So that's 10, and I have 12 here, so I think we'll be all right. And hopefully this is inky enough. I might have to ink my stamp pad here. Maybe I should test it first. Let's see if it's got enough ink. Yeah, that'll work. Unless we think I should go with a darker. Maybe I should do garden green so it's a little darker. Let me get that. Hello, Tanya. Welcome. We're on a timer, okay? Just so you know, we're on a timer. We're trying to do 12 cards in an hour. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting more for myself than for anybody else. I am preparing cards for a swap. So I have, just to get you up to speed, Tanya, I have prepared some of the things ahead of time. And that time I'm not including in the hour. I'm just kind of seeing if I can assemble these 12 cards and get them all done in an hour. Those actually all look pretty good. This one I'm missing a little bit on the K, but I'm not going to worry about it, because who I give it to is not going to care. And that's number 11. And that ink pad does need to be re-inked, which is why we're getting kind of an ombre look, but I'm all right with that. All right, so next we are going to have to finish cutting out the rest of these. Now, with my die, this is the die, so we can cut out all 12 all at one time, right? When I cut several, then the cardstock started to stick in here. So I'm just going to run it through once with a sheet of wax paper, all right? And we may have a little bit of a challenge getting the wax paper off, because sometimes it kind of creases around there, but it'll be fine. How many times have you heard me say that? It'll be fine. All right, so let me bring over Bossy Gussie. And we are just going to cut out, I have 6 ready, so we're just going to do 6 more. And these are just 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I don't have to worry about cutting them exactly to size, because there is a cutting edge on this. So it's going to cut them automatically. So it doesn't even matter if I have them straight on this piece of paper. But what I want to do is put the wax paper in between my cardstock and the die, just so it makes the die a little slipperier, I guess you could say. It's just going to coat it a little bit, so the stuff is going to come out easier. And if I have to get another piece of cardstock, oh, that's a good idea, Bon Bon. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that. These actually look kind of cool when they've got the wax paper on them. But if you try to use them with the wax paper on, the wax paper comes off anyway. So these are just unnecessary. I'm just going to peel this off and get rid of that. And now my die should be good for several more runs. So that's 1 of 6. Now, I did something so that you wouldn't have to if you get this. I tested it running 2 pieces of cardstock at the same time, because sometimes the dies do a really good job cutting more than one sheet. This did not. I still had to run it through 2 times, and I'm going to tip it so that a corner is leading into the rollers. So I would not recommend running it through twice, because it really didn't save any time. All right. And then see how easy that came out now? Now it was really sticking before. And then I'm just going to use my little Pampered Chef. It's like a bowl scraper. And I'm just going to scrape those off of there. It's easier than me trying to pick it up with my fingernails, you know? So I will have to remember that beeswax idea. That's a good idea. Does it leave any like clumps back? Sometimes I'm a little overzealous and I don't want to leave chunks of wax on there either. Or is it just like a beeswax balm? Or is it more of a, I don't know, I've never bought beeswax on its own. I have some storage sheets that are coated with beeswax that I wrap my sourdough bread in rather than plastic bags or even paper bags lined with plastic. Just rub lightly. I know, but sometimes I'm overzealous. I can't help myself. So these are all coming out pretty nicely now. And then we'll stamp some leaves on these little puppies too. Do you get that like, would Michael's have that in like a candle making area or Hobby Lobby? Do they use beeswax for making candles, or where would I buy that? I don't even know. Because I really like that idea. I'm going to give it a try. Then I wouldn't have pieces of wax paper wasted, right? And I'm going to save all these little tulips just because I think I'm going to make a shaker card or something out of them. 49 minutes. Yeah, you don't scare me. So who did something fun on your Saturday? Because once we got back from eating, I took a nice long nap. Because I did not get enough hours of sleep last night. And I had to get up way earlier than I normally care to. And I was tired. So I think this is our 12th one. Because I did just 6 ahead of time. So I did a few. But like I said, it was only about a half an hour that I might have put in. So basically, I cut my card bases. So I scored first and cut once. And I had to do that 6 times for the 12 bases. So Juju, you crafted, you cleaned, you organized, you napped, you crafted. Went live. Oh yeah, that's right. I wasn't even thinking about your live too, because I didn't catch that at all today. Sorry. I'll go back. Pop in. You need a phone 12-step program? Well, here you go. 12 cards. All right, so I think we're good with this. I'm going to get this out of the way because that should be all 12. We'll do a head count here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and an extra in case I mess up. Awesome. I'll just leave that one off to the side because I don't really want that to sway my hour limit here. All right. So now I'm going to take the, let's try one with Granny Apple Green. Maybe we'll do that on my extra one. And we'll see. You're going to need wine. I have Tippy Cow. So this is Granny Apple Green. So this is going to be tone on tone. Oh, that's fine. So this is probably going to be the longest part because I'm going to do 12 tulip sets on 12 sheets. So if my math is correct, that's 144 stamps. I think 12 times 12 is still 144. I haven't had to do that math for a while. And I know it with like our granddaughter in school, they're teaching her different ways to come out, you know, how to show her work. And I'm thinking, why can't we just memorize some basic facts? You know? All right, so Bon, you ate, then you went out and put up your lawnmower. That's probably a good idea, huh? We are in the process of getting more snow right now. And it was just supposed to be I think like 1 to 3 inches. But before MacMan went to bed, I think he told me that it had changed. I'm just going to pop that one a little bit more. That it had changed to like up to 5 inches. So, yay. Not. Snow's all right to look at, but I'm tired of living in snow, quite honestly. Excuse me. Yeah, this new math is kind of crazy. So Yuta, you cut papers for your album. Packed up adhesives to last through next year. What do you mean by that? Oh, picked. I got it. Sorry, it was autocorrect. I'm still learning. I was reading literally, sorry. That makes much more sense. This is actually a little therapeutic. So I also randomly found a basket, just a small basket, that had like an open weave along the top edge and was just kind of oval-ish. Perfect to fit like a roll of toilet paper. So I did some weaving. I took this ribbon. This is the shaded spruce ribbon that's got the gold edges. And I wove it around where the open weave was on this basket. And I put 2 rows of ribbon on there, and I made a nice pretty bow with the 2 ribbons, so it's a double bow. And I put that in the bathroom, kind of as a holiday decoration. I try to every day put a little something out for Christmas. I didn't do anything yesterday. Hello, Susan from Melbourne. This project is unusual. Well, I'm prepping cards for a swap, so I'm just kind of mass producing and just kind of sharing my method. Because usually when I'm on here at night, I'm doing just individual cards, but there are times when I have to mass produce them if I have a class, or like this, I have a swap tomorrow. Nothing like getting the stuff ready ahead of time, right? Because that's kind of how I roll. Tomorrow, though, in the morning, I'll be baking a sweet potato casserole to take with, because we do lunch. No squirrels. I know the ribbon was a little bit of a squirrel, wasn't it? But it's so pretty. This one has a little hanger-oner. Let's do that a little bit more. How we doing on time, Juju? So luckily I did not have to design the card because I already cased a card a few nights ago. So this is kind of what we're working on. But it's going to be a little different because I'm using new paper from either the online exclusives or the new catalog. I don't remember. 41 minutes left. Okay. I'm not going to sweat it. I don't want to get a stress notification on my watch here, because it tells me when I have an event that has elevated my stress level or something. I don't know. Usually it tells me after the fact, and I can't remember what I was doing at the time that it might have had elevated my stress. I have found, though, when I check my blood pressure, when I keep my blood pressure cuff in here and I check it, when I'm in my happy place, my blood pressure is usually quite low. I mean, not low, but not elevated. We should say that. So there is something to be said about the calming effect of crafting. So these leaves, Susan, I don't know if you were here the other night when I made that card. These all come with a single die, and these lift out of here. They're just not detached. So it is actually pretty cool. Oh, guess what? We're on the last one. I gotta tilt it this way, being left-handed. That's how I have to see it. This reminds me of your grandmother's neighbor in Germany. Each year she'd bring a tulip bouquet. Oh, that's cool. To everybody in the neighborhood. That's awesome. Oops, I just got my finger in the ink. Yeah, and earlier today I ended up with black all over my fingers, and I have no idea what inky things I was touching that got black all over my fingers. Lava soap, baby. Came off pretty good. Of course, a layer of my skin probably came off too, but whatever. All right, so these are done. So we've got 12 of these. I'm going to turn them over, and I'm going to put some tear and tape on all of these. And when I do my tear and tape, you've seen me do this before, I like to put the roll on my hand because then I have both hands that I can control my strip of tape. Who else does assembly line crafting? I know that junk journals, you basically are working on one. Usually if I'm doing something special like a shadow box or something, it's an individual creation. It's not mass produced. But you know, if you are good at not getting too distracted, I mean, you could have a TV program on and do this kind of stuff. And there was just a little piece edge there. I thought maybe it had cut wrong, but it's fine. Macman will deny it, but he was actually in here cutting for me. Not recently. Probably in the spring. I think I was getting ready for a craft fair or something. And I needed help getting some paper cut, so he was in here die cutting stuff for me. So you call it mass making. Well, there you go. You do it every day. Good for you, Bon Bon. Do you sell a lot of your things? Or do you just donate? We've probably talked about this before, but I forgot. A lot of journals are mass produced. Really? I had no idea. I look at, like, you know, Juju and Vicky when I go on their sites, and even Pam when I've stepped in on hers, and it just looks like it's an individual one. So Bon Bon, you donate. That's great. There are people out there that still appreciate handmade cards. So we're getting to the bottom of the pile here. Six to 10 at a time. Okay. That's a fair amount. So Rhea, if you make a bunch, they go in a box and you never see them again? All right, so you do journals. Okay. Vicky just posted something. I don't know what she posted. I can't see it, but it came up on my notification, so. Yeah, the only thing that I've really done with journals are there's a couple of kits that Stampin' Up! Has had, and I'll get like a journal from the store that has just a boring cover to it. We're at the end of that roll. That just has a boring cover, and I'll glam it up a little bit. But I don't yet. I've never, let's go get another roll. Um, I don't get all the pages done like some of you gals do. Good thing I've got my own store, hey? Just gonna rip part of this off because it's lost its tackiness. I try to never run out of some of these things. Now, normally, you know, I prefer to use the green glue, the multi-purpose liquid glue. But today, with these strips, I just think the tear and tape is more practical. Well, that's why I've kind of been leery, because as I'm watching you, I'm thinking, oh, that looks pretty cool. And you cracked me up the other day too, Juju, when you said something about the card police were going to come for you or something. I thought that was pretty funny. And I just like to burnish on my tear and tape just so it adheres better. And it kind of more fuses the tape to the cardstock. I find it doesn't peel off when I do this like it might if I don't. I mean, it's a very strong tape, but it does take some, like a cure time, a little bit of cure time. All right, so tell me about this Defemember. Defemember. I've seen several of you now mention that, and I have no idea what that is. Is that from a certain person or product line? And then it's a challenge that you all do things with the same product or a similar product? I don't know what that is. Well, see, I know ephemera, and I figured that was kind of like a December. I've only done day 5 so far. So would you be, like, is it every day for December then? So you're just a day behind maybe? All right. So I'm going to do probably just 2 of these at a time so that I don't get a sticky mess going on, because then I'm just going to add the strips of DSP that I have already cut to 1 by 5 inches. All right, so we've got the cotton candy. I've got the yellow flowers, and then we've got whatever that color is. So we're just going to go ahead and I want to keep the yellow in the middle. So we're just going to put those on there. And I'm not too worried about the tops, but I've got the tear and tape in the middle, so that's going to hold our strips pretty well. Oh, I read that wrong. So you've only done 1 day. Whoops, I need to go like this. What side do I want up? Nope, I want this side. All right. All right, so that's how they're going to look. I just have to remember when I'm looking at them to just flip them and not get distracted. I mean, I could flip them over, but at this point, that's probably going to confuse my brain more than, you know, I could flip like the whole pile. But like I was saying, it would probably confuse me more. You got stuck cleaning the house, squirrel. You know, really, cleaning is overrated. So I have actually never timed myself doing swap prep like this, or, you know, assembly. So we'll see. We'll see how I do. I hope I don't fail you all, because then I would just be disappointed in myself. Hello, Nicole. Welcome. We're working on doing 12 tulip cards, twirling out in an hour. I have just a little over half an hour left, I believe. Juju is our timekeeper. So I should be done at 12 after the hour, wherever your hour is. 30 minutes. See? I was close. And I'm going to try not to ask for a handicap for squirrel time, you know, when I accidentally get distracted. But I don't want to focus so hard that I ignore everybody, right? That would just be rude. So these are going pretty quickly. Well, that is what, Nicole, that is what went through my head when I was thinking of the title for the YouTube. It's like 12 tulips twirling. I probably shouldn't sing. I used to sing in church a lot. I even sang at weddings. On occasion. I was in a double trio at church. I was in choir in high school. So unfortunately, my voice is no longer trained to do anything good. It's just like sing in the car when I'm all alone, sort of thing. Or if I'm singing something with my granddaughter. She doesn't care what I sound like. Of course, that's usually in the car too, so. She is so funny. MacMan was laughing at her the last time she stayed over. She gets in the shower, and we have what I call a spa shower in our addition that we built for my parents. And it doesn't have a tub. It's just a walk-in shower, but it's roomy. All right, so, and it's got sliding glass doors, like barn door style. It's just nice. But she gets in there and she is like Pavarotti or something. She is just singing her heart out every time she gets in the shower. And he came down the hallway and he was trying to suppress his laughter. It was so funny. She was singing. It's so cute. I usually just have music going on in my head. Like for a CPR class, you know, Staying Alive. Another One Bites the Dust. Just to get the rhythm for the compressions, you know. I could have tried to pick a swap card that didn't have so many steps. But when I do swap cards, I want to give people the kind of card that I would want to get. I don't want just a one-step simple card. I want to see something that I can display for customers, you know. So there was a brilliant video the other day where 9 singers sang the 12 Days of Christmas a cappella. Oh, I bet that was pretty. Toto's Africa, is that the name of the group? I don't listen to a whole lot of radio. I don't listen to a whole lot of TV. All right, we're almost done with our little old tulips here. I'll have to try to look it up if it's Toto's Africa. Oh, it looks like I have one more under here. Here, I thought I was done. Or maybe I was. Maybe I've got that. Maybe that's my 13th one, huh? I bet that is my 13th one. Because we're done with strips. Oh, right, Toto. I thought when I saw Toto's Africa, I was thinking that was, yeah, I remember the song. I would not have been able to tell you Toto was the group that sang the song, but because I don't remember groups and actors and stuff, I take things kind of at face value a lot of times. All right, so this, we'll see if this is my 12. I think it is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, so this is my extra one. I'm just going to get that out of the way. All right, so then we need to get rid of a little of this debris here. All of my tear tape backings. And we are going to put some tulips on our labels. Excuse me. All right, and we are just going to put a little bit of glue. And I think these might actually have to go over on this side because of how I stamp. This is a different sentiment that I'm using on this one, and I was actually going to do them sideways and I forgot about it because it looks like more of a vertical sentiment to me. I don't know if this is going to be enough glue or not. We'll see. I think we'll start down here. This is where I could probably use my Take Your Pick tool to pick them up a little bit. Might make it easier for me. Now we're talking assembly line here, huh? That one's upside down. The right tool for the right job. Oops. Like a robot. All right, I saw the 22-minute warning. I almost feel like I'm getting down to the wire. It's a little scary. Because I got to do bows yet. I got to wrap twine. I got to put embellishments on. Oops. Got to put dimensionals on these. Alrighty, get this stuff out of the way so it doesn't distract me. Alright, now let's do our dimensionals on all of these so that I don't have to touch them too many more times. And then I'll use my Take Your Pick tool to take all those backings off. Those are good. And then we're going to do some twine work here. Let me get my twine here. And I'm going to flip these over. And we're just going to go 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put tear and tape on those. 1, 2, 3. That'll work. Hopefully none of my twine will get tangled, because I might have to beg for mercy and stop the clock or something. So tomorrow morning I was telling you I have to do that sweet potato casserole, because that's what I'm taking for our lunch in at our swap. And then we'll end up putting dimensionals on the back 4 corners of these layers, because we'll have the dimensionals for the sentiment in the middle. So I don't want to have more dimensionals in the center of my layer. All right. And I'm not even going to bother to take that tear and tape backing off, because I don't need to. All right, I'm just getting my twine on here so it gives it a little extra texture. And that can be kind of random. It doesn't have to be symmetrical if you don't want it to be. 17 minutes. See, I'm glad I don't have to watch the clock, because you are. I should have said an hour and 12 minutes, since I'm doing 12 cards. See, I think this is the putziest part, is getting these little babies contained. I should have cheated and done it without the twine and said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that part. Thank you, Nicole. Whoops. Lost my end there. Well, thank you, Juju. We'll see. Maybe I won't need it. We'll see. Time will tell. It's good to have goals, though. You know, you have to have a goal. Oops, there's the end. So if I wouldn't have said, oh, let's get this done in 5 hours, you know, how impressive is that? That's nothing, right? Yeah, I could use regular tape too. I've thought about it, because then it's already on a little holder. I'm just afraid that the regular tape isn't going to hold my stuff. because, you know, sometimes when I've had tape on things, it has loosened up. And the tear tape, I don't have that problem because it's a little stickier. So I just feel safer. I don't want my cards to fall apart, you know. And I'm probably overthinking it. I'm probably being too careful. But that's just me. Come on, I'm trying to get these to spread out just a little bit. Guess that one's going to look like that. Glue over the top. Yeah, you could do that, but then I'd be too impatient waiting for the glue to set for me. That wasn't too bad. All right, so let's do dimensionals here. Because then we're going to put these all on the bases. I feel like everybody's pretty quiet. Everybody's just waiting with bated breath, watching the clock, I bet. Can she do it? I never want to craft where I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure, though. I mean, it's fun to challenge, you know, to say, okay, let's see if we can get this done in an hour. And if I don't, I mean, what's going to happen to me? You guys might laugh at me. Is that the end of the world? No, not really. All right, rather than cut around those bones, I'm just going to get another sheet. Monotony. So what's on everybody's agenda for tomorrow or for later today, Sunday? Our Australia folks, you're already halfway through your day. Now, it would be an unfortunate circumstance if I would do any of these upside down. Oh, Rhea, you've got your mom coming to visit. Does she stay with you or just comes over for, like, lunch or something? That one doesn't want to come off. There we go. I'm going to flip this one over because I've got a little ridge on there that I don't want to be able to see from the front. Do a live with Scrapbook Sage at 5 o'clock. That's what you're doing? So you do lives too? Because I don't think I have your channel to peek in. All right, Juju, you're doing something with glue. I don't know. Cook spinach, pumpkin, and ricotta. Cannelloni and lasagna. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds very good. What time is lunch? Where are you at? That does sound very good. All right, so it doesn't make sense for her to transfer to the base hospital near her town, so she keeps coming there. That makes sense. Wouldn't you be surprised if a bunch of people showed up at your doorstep? Hey, we're here for dinner. We're getting there. Well, that's your good reason to be an excuse, right? If she wants to see you, that's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. I miss my mom. We used to be able to dine together every day when they moved out here by us, so that was nice. I think I'm gonna pull a bunch of these off, maybe. And make it a little bit more efficient. I could try to straighten that out a little bit, huh? There. Good enough. Well, thanks for not complaining that I'm doing a swap mass production as opposed to something new and exciting. I almost was going to do some Cajun Craze again tonight, but that might be tomorrow. Or the next video. That's like, what, 23 hours or something. Come on. Gift wrapping tomorrow. That's awesome. I have to do some gift shopping. Six minutes. Okay. We're getting close to done. Whoops. All right, so we're going to put the embellishments on. We'll have to use this here. Oh, maybe. I might do better with just my fingers, I think. Or maybe my pokey tool. We'll go over here. I might need those few extra minutes if I put the little bows, because that's the only thing that we'll have left is the little bows. And I didn't tie those ahead of time, so. Even without the bow, it could be considered done. I mean, I still gotta put the bow on them. Juju, you are a slave driver. Maybe I should put yellow on some of these, huh? These are flat dots. That's why my take your pick tool wasn't working quite as well as I wanted it to. So they're kind of fun with the yellow dots too. Oops. If I had longer, sharper nails, I could use my fingernails, I'm sure. But I don't. Everybody's pretty quiet. You're trying to keep me focused, I can tell. We don't want to talk, Lori will get distracted. Oh, you went to on stage in Melbourne. How fun. I want to do a 4-in-1 one of these times. 68 pairs of paper earrings. That sounds like an awesome swap. 75 mini desk organizer. Oh my gosh, you were busy. How many people go to the Melbourne or the Australia on stage? I mean, we have thousands that come to the US one, but I'm curious. Oh, that's a green one. Just under 500. That's still a good size group. That's a lot of swaps. I typically don't do swaps for on stage just because I have so much going the weeks around on stage. Oops, I guess I'm not quite done. That I don't want the extra stress of trying to make sure that I get enough swaps done. 2 minutes. All right, well, if these had to be done, we could consider them done without the little bow, because now we have all the embellishments. So we've got layers and embellishments and stamping, so that's important. So now what I have to do is tie a bunch of my bows. So I'm not going to do it in my 1 hour, but well, oh, and I think I did these in double bows, so we'll do 2. We'll see if I can get all my bows tied, because then I'll have to do glue dots on them and stick them on. But the cards essentially are done. We essentially did all 12 cards in the hour. Luckily, I did some of that prep work, you know, getting the card bases ready. If I would have had all of the tulip layers cut, which was my intention, but I didn't want to come live after midnight because that would have taken me a couple extra minutes. If I would have had all those done, we might have been able to get done in an hour. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But I've got 9 minutes after the hour right now, so that's not too bad. Not too bad. Thank you, Bon Bon. And with the help of my bow maker, these bows are much easier than if I was trying to do little bows by hand. I am a little competitive. I usually like to be done first and be the best. It's sometimes a curse though when you put so much pressure on yourself to be a perfectionist. I've gotten way better as I've gotten older. Yeah, this is how I use this thing. And when you spread out your little dowels, then you get bigger bows, obviously. Oops. You can do this with a fork. You can do it with a comb if you've got like a really wide tooth comb. I just kind of like the little bow maker thing here. That one doesn't want to cooperate. But once you tie them on here, they cannot be untied. They are knotted, basically. So you just wrap it around, put the top one underneath all the way through, and then just wrap it over and tie it like you're starting that first knot of tying your shoes. Let's see if I can get 12 bows done before we go to 11 minutes after the hour. I don't know that I'm going to make it. Nope, just went to 11 minutes after the hour. So it looks like I've got like 2 or 3 more bows to do. But that was pretty close. Pretty close. So I just have 1 more bow after this and then glue dots and trimming them out. And I could put a layer inside. But since it's a swap, I probably won't because we want just basically the idea for the other demonstrators to do like a class. All right. So I'm going to keep working on these. You guys can still hang out with me if you want, but you know, that was pretty close. It's good to have a challenge, right? And then I'll trim these threads down. Maybe. It depends. I might like them longer. We'll have to see. So would you trim your threads down or not if you were doing them? Yeah, I can, if you get yours in hand sometime and we're doing a live, if you can't figure it out, we can walk through it at a slower pace. I'd be happy to do that. And I'm just rolling these like little burritos because I don't want the glue to hang over the edge and get hung up in the envelope, you know. Yeah, I kind of like those longer. I'll probably trim it so it doesn't hang over the edge of the card. Usually when we do our swap with our team meeting, we do it as a shoebox swap. So we just prep all the components and then we make the cards ourselves that each person has designed. But because we're doing like our holiday gathering, we're not going to have time to do that much crafting. We'll do like 1 make and take, I think. But we wouldn't have time to make 12 or more cards, so that's why we're getting them all ready this time instead. Either way, it's kind of fun. And that meeting is for my upline. And she does it every other month. And I do mine in alternating months. But the gals that are local to me are not swappers. They haven't got to the point where they feel like they can make things that are swap worthy. I'm trying to get them over that. So you gals that are on here that are on my team, what I'm thinking of doing is, if anybody wanted to, we could prepare the swaps. You could mail your swaps to me, and then those that are participating, I would just mail out all of the different swap cards. So we'll figure that out at some point if anybody's interested. So the people that are local, we would probably do like the shoebox swap here, but those that are not local, you'd have to send in your cards finished. And then I would send you finished cards as well. All right, so that's not too bad. I just needed 5 extra minutes to get the bows on. All right. Cool. 12 cards. And it just went to 16. So 12 cards in an hour and 5 minutes. I didn't need the whole extra 12 minutes. So I only needed 5 of the 12. So that's not too bad. I'm kind of happy with that. Thank you, Yuta. Thank you, Ria. 5 minutes left on the 12-minute alarm. Woohoo! All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to make some of these more similarly sized and make sure they don't hang off the bottom of my card. Maybe. Yeah, this one got all wonky, so I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't have it centered on my bow maker. Well, thank you, Yuta. It should be fun. It's always a good time. And it's the end of the year where she does recognition for sales and advancement and that sort of thing. So we have a good time. Is anybody going to on stage in March? Any of you that are demonstrators? And luckily I don't have to decorate regular envelopes for here because we just put them in clear envelopes for our swaps. That one doesn't want to let go. All right. Now we're done. Are these 12 well-baked tulip cookies? Hello, Apple. Yes, they are 12 baked tulip cards. 12 tulips twirling. Because there's 12 tulips per card too, and I had to do 12 of them. So you can watch the replay. But here's the card that I was modeling. Here's the card that I ended up doing for a swap. Now, if you notice, there's a little difference here. Aside from the sentiment being up and down, I did not put the extra layer to accent around here because, quite honestly, I just didn't want to do all that extra paper. It's a swap. So this will be easier for somebody to recreate if they get this. So that's all I have for you tonight. I'm going to clean up my little mess here. I'm going to get my recipe out for my sweet potato casserole that I have to make later. And I'm going to call it a night. So thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Juju, for being the timekeeper. I appreciate that because then I didn't have to look at the clock as often. And maybe tomorrow I will do, I can show you what I kind of started. This is what I started for tonight. So that's kind of a preview for next time we're together. Hopefully you like it. Maybe not, but we're on a Cajun craze kick. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Folks are starting to drop off of here. I am done for the night. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for playing with my 12 tulips a twirling. And until next time, happy crafting.